a perfect example is looking back at chiropractor. You know, back in the day, chiropractors were seen as whack jobs. People thought that they were unnecessary, and now they're bone doctors. You know, it used to be that like health insurance wouldn't cover it, and now like they're super respected in the industry.
Welcome to Welcome. 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 Welcome to GhostEater and Friends.
Oh, so welcome to episode 8 of the GhostEater and Friends. Have our very good friend Nikki, a massage therapist from Mindful Massage Matters.
That is correct.
Yes. Okay. And now, I've talked a little bit about it before. Now, me personally, I'm an alien. I don't know if I have muscles, so I haven't got a massage. But our lead tech, Sam, has gotten a massage multiple times. Great reviews is what I hear. And so I just kind of wanted to, get to know you a little bit and kind of talk about your journey into, being a massage therapist and what it's all about.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for having me, GhostEater. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
So I started off my journey to become a massage therapist. I guess just where it all began is as a kid. My parents, my grandparents, they'd always tell me how good I was at giving back rubs. And, like, they joke about me becoming a massage therapist, but, like, I always kind of thought of it as, like, not a real career.
Sure.
Fast forward, senior year of high school, I meet my best friend, and we start massaging each other back and forth, just willy-nilly. His mom comes downstairs one day, sees us massage each other, and is like, you guys should go to school for massage. And we both just kind of laughed and shrugged it off. We did not know what we wanted to do.
You're like, who does that?
Exactly. And then I eventually wanted to quit working in the restaurant industry. And I finally started thinking about maybe I should look into massage.
Yeah, okay.
And so I went to school at Aveda Institute in Minneapolis, and first day they were talking about massage therapy and how it is relaxing and therapeutic, and I was like, okay, sounds easy.
Like I knew that.
And then they start talking about deep tissue work and how beneficial it is and how you can actually help people function better for their day-to-day lives. And I was like, what? I was very intrigued. I was hooked immediately.
Yeah.
School flew by. And then by the time I finished school, I started working at a spa. And I call up my best friend, same best friend that I talked about earlier. His name's Jason. Call up Jason. I'm like, hey, Jason, do you want to come and get a massage from me at this place I just got hired at? He's like, I'm actually about to finish massage school right now. And I'm like, oh,
Don't be my subject.
I was like, okay, well, why don't you come and get a job then?
Yeah.
So then he came and started working with me at the spa that I worked at for a while.
Cool.
I was there for about like a year and a half. And then eventually quit and decided that I wanted to do my own thing.
Sure. Is there like, were you going for like a particular degree or anything? I don't really know that much about
So massage school is more of like a trade school.
So it's like a certificate?
Yeah, you go in and I had to learn about anatomy, physiology,
sure.
Kinesiology. And I didn't like anatomy before becoming a massage therapist.
Ew.
Yes, exactly. And I didn't really think that I would like I'm avoidant to oils. I don't like things on my hands at all. But yet, doing massage, it's like that switch gets flipped off and it's not even a problem.
It's like the context is like, no, this makes sense in context. So your body is like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. But when I was going through massage school, I had a partner at the time who had fibromyalgia.
Sure.
And at one point, I had a roommate who had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which are both chronic pain.
Syndromes?
Yes,
Right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so when I went through massage school, I actually did more focus on working with people with chronic pain.
Sure, okay.
And then I started, my first year going through massage, I started noticing nerve issues in my own body. So then I was like, okay, I want to learn how to work on people who have nerve issues.
Sure. Like, I could help people.
Exactly. So back to where I had mentioned, I had quit the spa.
Yep.
And started doing my own thing, and I was so nervous.
Oh,
I
yeah.
tried to think of, like, what am I going to call myself? At the time, it was Nico Massage.
For sure. I think Sam got a Nico massage.
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very early on.
Yeah, that was one of his first ones.
And back then I didn't really have any tools yet or anything. Now I have hot stones.
You got tools.
Oh, yeah.
You got oils too, right?
Yeah.
Like THC oils.
Yeah. So with the tools, I have hot stones, Himalayan salt stones, cold stones, cups for cupping. I think that's all of the tools I currently have right now. More are on the way.
Sure.
What was that?
So I was just gonna kind of get into like what the different tools kind of like are for.
Yeah.
Like what's the difference? Obviously, hot and cold stone.
But, like, why would I use it?
Right. Like, why would you use hot versus cold? And
Yeah.
kind of when you choose, like, how would you make the decision?
So oftentimes when I'm first starting a massage, let me go through my process of how I massage.
Yeah, let's do it.
So
let's keep it one-on-one.
when I have someone come in, I ask, okay, what problems are you having in your body? They give me the list of the issues that they're having with their body, and I say, okay, well, here's my game plan based on what you told me you have going on. And then I give people the opportunity, do you want to switch up anything based on, like, what you have going on? And they'll tell me yes or no. And then I'll have them start either face up or face down on a massage table, depending on like what issues there are. And then immediately I'm oiling to get the lubrication on my body. Otherwise, like, it's bare skin skids. It gets gross.
Yeah. That can't be comfortable.
No, not for anyone. But usually I pull out the hot stones right away. The Himalayan salt stones, to be specific.
Okay.
And the Himalayan salt stones, they also are heated, but there's magnesium in those stones. So they help the body relax. Think like an Epsom salt, but I'm massaging you with it.
Yeah, okay. Sweet.
And then it helps the muscles relax. Heat helps your muscles relax.
Sure.
Now, if I hear that there's issues like you have some inflammation, I'm probably not going to do the hot stones right away. I'm probably going to break out cold. Cold stones, cold does a great job at bringing down inflammation, and it makes it easier after it's been calmed down to then start working on the muscle, break up the adhesions, or most people know them as knots.
Yeah, I heard those are awful.
And then usually after the hot stones, I'll be communicating with people through the massage. I'll be like, okay, this is what's going on in your body. You're having issues with your shoulder. It's not necessarily bending fully back. I'll let them know, like, hey, you're having some range of motion issues. I'll ask questions like, are you sleeping on your sides? Are you leaning when you're at your desk? Are you, I'll kind of point out like things, what you might do on a daily basis. Because all the things that we do on a daily basis is what really has impacts on our bodies. The same wear and tear. And we don't realize it because we're so used to doing it all the time.
Right. Like You don't. You're so caught up in routine, and that's the pain isn't necessarily immediate, right? So it just kind
Yeah.
of builds up. So by the time it gets there, you may not necessarily know what the fuck you're doing.
Exactly. The issue that a lot of people have is they come in and they think the problem is from, oh, I tripped and I fell into my arm. You think that the fall created the injury. The fall definitely had impact. It definitely made what was going on worse.
Right.
But like if all of your wear and tear, if you've been leaning on that side and sleeping on that side and there's just so much pressure and compression on that side that eventually when you have that fall, there's not going to be enough cushion, malleability to your muscles, and it's going to be easier for something to pull, tear, break, whatever.
Sure, especially if there's like maybe some inflammation. That's like an irritation, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it can cause further damage if it is, swollen or inflamed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Makes
so
sense.
that's why, like, usually if I do run into someone who has any inflammation, I suggest cold stones.
Right.
Or
That makes
THC
sense.
oil. THC and CBD oil can be really beneficial. Same with, like, I recently came across Epsom salt lotion. That
Oh,
stuff
okay.
can be really beneficial.
Has salt in the lotion?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's called Epsomit. Check it out, epsomit.com. Made and distributed here in Minneapolis.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that, like with the whole experience, like I didn't realize how much was involved in getting, massage. Because there's also like atmosphere and music and smells and stuff, right? That you
Yeah.
manage.
Well, so you see, massage therapy at its base, not every massage therapist is going to sit there and explain to you what's going on in your body, help you figure it out, explain different like self-care tips. That's not what it means to be a massage therapist, but that's what it means to me. That's
Sure.
what mindful massage matters means. It's you're coming in to get a mindful massage. You're coming in not to just get the massage, but to be educated in what's going on in your body and how to take care of it better. When you come in to get a massage from me, we're a team.
Yeah.
We're working together,
You're trying to fix the issue like permanently, long term, if you can.
We're not necessarily trying to fix, we're trying to address and learning how to maintain. Our
Okay.
bodies aren't, your body is a machine or something. Not really sure.
It's similar to human.
But with our bodies, there is no constant going. You have to maintain. We're not gears in a machine. You're gonna have to stop every once in a while. You're gonna have to stretch. The older we get, you have to pay attention to how you're gonna fall asleep, how
Right.
you're gonna sit for hours on end.
I heard that the best way to sleep is literally on your back with your legs slightly raised. Is that correct?
Yes, right underneath your knees. It takes pressure off your low back, increases circulation in your legs, and decreases the chance of varicose veins over time.
So I know I have a lot of human friends out there that probably hear that and think, "Fuck that." But
It can
I
be
gotta
really-
say, Sam, my lead tech, attests to it, and he does try to he doesn't accomplish sleeping on his back every night, but naps are great on the back, and they try, he tries to fall asleep at least on his back, and frankly, he's gone to you a couple times if he needs to go back for sure. But it really helped him out a lot when he had some shoulder problems, fucking shoulder problems,
Oh, those are the worst.
That's what I hear. So one thing I did kind of want to talk about in that regard, you're talking about how you as a therapist pay more attention to just addressing the issue. Like it sounds like you really want to educate your customer, your client, I should say, that look, here is kind of the root cause of what some of these issues, happen from. Try to address these as well as the massage. And then and like you said, it's the maintenance at that point, where you're not necessarily at pain, but you're preventing pain from
That's
coming
the
back.
end goal. I I work with a lot of people with chronic pain, and there's sometimes, there's some things that you can't manage that
Right.
well. Like some things you just have to live with, and you have to learn how to make it less intense.
Sure.
In my experience, it seems like brain fart. Back to the thing we were talking about with sleeping, though.
Yeah.
I struggle with sleeping on my back. I tell all of my clients to sleep on their back, and I try to let every one of my clients know, like, hey, I'm not perfect. It's a struggle to take care of your body. It is hard.
Oh, yeah. I never heard about that before you. I was like, it seems so natural and comfortable to sleep on your side of your stomach.
So that is actually because it's more psychologically comforting. When you're on your side and curled up, it reminds your body of being kind of as a fetus. It
Yes,
reminds your body of being
gestation.
like swaddled like a baby. It reminds your body of safety.
Yeah.
And so when you're on your back, you feel completely exposed.
Right.
All of your muscles are completely relaxed, and it allows them to heal better overnight. But it leaves some people feeling anxious. And so,
Yeah.
like, a weighted blanket on top of you when you're sleeping is more likely to help you sleep on your back, stay on your back throughout the night, and, not have as much issues with anxiety and stuff like that.
I even heard it helps with, like, digestion.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, everything could be helped by laying on your back, but I guess evolution isn't perfect, right?
I would say so.
It doesn't really set you with a prerequisite to sleep on your back. It's okay. I mean, you humans have been changing nature for hundreds and hundreds of years, so someday you'll all sleep on your back, I'm sure.
I mean, this is not related to the conversation, but I think we need to have like anti-gravity pods or some type of like salt water tube that we're like floating in when we're sleeping. Because even when you're sleeping on your back, you're staying stationary for 8 hours, roughly.
Right.
That is still not good for your body. Like, things get stiff over time.
Sure.
I've heard and read studies on like 4 hours of sleep is most beneficial physically for your muscles, but you need to take like multiple naps throughout the day. I'm pretty sure it was a Russian study, and I actually read it when I was going through massage school because that's about how much sleep I had
Like,
going
am I
through school.
dying?
Yeah.
It turns out you're not. I read that historically speaking, in terms of, speaking of like evolution and sleeping, and like back in the day, way back in the day, before you guys had lights or anything of that nature, there was a natural time where, like, right after supper, you kind of went to bed, like, right away, because it got dark, basically.
Okay.
You're like, all right, time to go to bed. But there was, I think twilight even, the word comes from that time where you kind of wake up at like, 2 or 3. And they literally, like, it was common for everyone and to wake up at that time, hang out, read, have some fornication, and then go to bed until dawn. And that's actually the more natural sleeping pattern that comes from, again, evolution, before we disrupted it by being able to have, like, daytime forever. Essentially. Like, what, Las Vegas, like, hasn't gone to bed for 80 years or something? the city that never sleeps? No, I kind of wanted to bring it back about your journey.
Okay.
I think it's pretty cool that you took a risk. You got it on your own. Starting a business is fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah.
We can relate. We feel that pressure all the fucking time. So, like, was it kind of hard to get clients and stuff at first?
Yeah. At first, it was horrifying, and I just kind of threw myself out there. I picked up my massage chair, and I had gotten a new car. I'd gotten a Corvette, and always had a second massage table just in my, not a Corvette, a convertible, sorry. I had a
Corvette.
convertible. And I would just keep my massage table in there all the time. I used to travel to people to give people massages because I lived in an apartment. And I would show up to, if you know who Bump Day is, I would show up to Bump Day and do massages out there. I went and vended at Skyway. I went and vended. I figured out how to get myself out to all of these different areas and not even charge when I was at these events. Do it for tips. Because, I do feel confident enough that you give me just a couple minutes of touching you, and I'll find the spots.
Well, especially at a show, I can imagine that'd actually be really fucking nice.
It's as the person that's doing the massage, I enjoy it because I get to groove a little bit to the music while I'm helping people.
Hell yeah.
And when people are coming in, they've been headbanging or whatever. It definitely helps.
Oh man, get that shoulder and neck work in there.
Yeah. Well, and see, it was even after going to an Excision show, I made a post on Facebook hey, if you came and threw down as hard as I did, you probably need a massage. And I actually got someone from that.
Dude, that's awesome. Man, I tell you, ravers are the most supporting motherfuckers.
Absolutely. So a lot of my client community originally started off with people in the EDM community and around the Twin Cities, and then eventually, and then eventually started working with the burlesque community and performers of that nature, and I am now proudly, when I first started off, I wanted to work with distinct groups of people. I wanted to be a safe massage therapist for the queer community, for sex workers, and for people within the EDM community. And I proudly work with people that cross all of those communities.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, honestly, that is more needed. Because I didn't even consider that, but as a trans person or as someone who maybe is non-binary or a sex worker, this is probably terrifying to seek any medical advice, much less a massage therapist. That's pretty intimate, honestly, at times. You're talking about deep tissue massage, right? That takes some work and time, right?
Yeah.
So
with massage therapy, we're still not recognized as a medical professional.
Really?
Especially here in Minnesota. Yeah, it's super unregulated, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I can't diagnose anything. People come in and ask what's gone wrong. I can tell people what's wrong with their muscles, what's tight, what might be causing those issues, but all in all, if people are looking for a diagnosis, I'll say go see a neurologist, or depending on what's going on, go see this specialist to get a diagnosis, to get the help that you need.
Yeah, go get your blood to a fucking lab. Mm-hmm. That's really the best way to handle some of that stuff, it sounds like.
Absolutely, but you can get a diagnosis of plantar fasciitis, but that's all they're going to give you is the name of what's going on. But and that can help me as the massage therapist target things better. But when you come in and I see, these are some of the issues I'm noticing. These look very similar to some things I've seen before. If you're looking for a diagnosis, this is who you can go and see. But I also ask, with this being like this, are you okay if I treat it as such?
Right,
then I break out the cold stones and massage the bottoms of the feet, because cold will bring down the inflammation from plantar fasciitis to make it easier to get your foot massaged.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is that? I don't think I've heard of that.
Plantar fasciitis is essentially you get adhesions, or again, what most people know as knots, at the bottom of your feet, big enough for you to start stepping on them. And then they start getting irritated, and then they start feeling like they're on fire. So when you first get out of bed and your feet feels like it's burning, that's again, I can't diagnose, but those are some symptoms that people with plantar fasciitis typically deal with.
I see. Okay. I can't say I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But,
so do you mind if I share with you a couple new things I've been doing over the past year or so?
Please,
Okay.
baby, let's hear it.
So I started working the last year and a half. I've been doing four-handed massages.
What?
So you remember me talk about Jason, right?
Yep, your best friend, right?
Yep, he's also my massage therapist.
Makes sense, though. I
Yeah.
mean, who better?
Exactly. And then we just kept on having some clients that needed some pretty severe care, and we just started figuring out, like, can two people work on the same person? Instead of having 2 hours for that person weekly, can we do an hour for that person with both of us working on them?
Oh, wow, so they're just getting worked, man.
Yeah, and at first it was very like, okay, how are we going to do this? But now we figured out, you get a four-handed massage, and 60 minutes of four-handed massage is essentially 2 hours worth of work. But let's just say I'm working in your low back, and he's working in your like mid back or upper back. The rest of your back is getting stretched out between the two working different ways.
Oh man, it actually creates two different tension areas then, right?
Absolutely.
So it actually affects more of the area at once.
Absolutely. It helps release things quicker. I've noticed that people who have gotten the four-handed massages, they would first be worried about being overstimulated. But then they come in and get their massage, and they can't focus on any one area. So it's easier for those areas to release. And if one area releases, say Jason's working on an intense area and so am I, as Jason's stuff starts to release, mine's just following it. Mine's just doing the same exact thing. So stuff releases like at the same time sometimes. It's wild.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And there's no continuing education for it. So Jason and I started working with another massage therapist, and we're working on showing her how to do four-handed massages. I want to see more massage therapists across the Twin Cities and across, just overall. We need to have more duo sessions, more people collaborating on taking care of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it clearly can do things that you alone can't.
Absolutely. So much so that I used to do 2 hours. When I first started off with the spa experience, I would work 6 hours a day, and I'd do 3 2-hour massages. It was intense.
Yeah, wow, that gotta be tiring.
It definitely was.
God.
Now I only do 4 hours a day, and I maybe only have 1 or 2 people that do 2 hours.
Sure.
Everyone else I've suggested, do the four-handed. It's $20 cheaper, and you're getting so much more work. I see more benefits in a 60-minute four-handed than I can produce in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And the goal for me is, how can I provide the most benefit for the people that I'm working with? If we can shorten that time, then I can get more people in to help them.
Right. So your volume, it almost doesn't change for you personally, but you're helping more people, right?
Yeah.
But you can still maintain doing not crazy amounts of massage, basically.
Exactly. So it's less stress and impact on my body while providing better services and allowing other therapists to get in on the work and be busier as well.
So that's cool. I mean, honestly, I didn't realize just how pioneering, literally, you are in this. I mean, you're saying it's highly unregulated, there's no continuing education.
Well, there's continuing education. Oh, yeah, for four-handed, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you're kind of, you're pushing real boundaries here.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard of four-handeds here and there, but places I've heard of it have been like bougie spas that like you're just coming in to zen out and stuff. And I'm trying to look at it as more of a deep tissue approach, like more how can we help bring you the best care.
Right, yeah. Like how can you actually utilize like logic in this case and understanding of how it works to basically make improvements. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet talk with the perfect person to kind of come up with that. You're such a collaborative individual. I think that there's probably old stigma and stuff associated with doing team massages that probably contributes to its obscurity.
You know, something I noticed when I first started off doing massage is there's a lot of competition in the industry, but there's so many bodies out there, and we're still not recognized as how beneficial as we can be. If we stop trying to compete with one another and learn how to work with each other, learn how to like network with each other. Say Jason and I, we have different styles. If Jason might work with someone better or anyone else that I know, I'd rather refer them to who's going to be a better fit for them. And then outside of like deep tissue work, also like I work with, I have massage therapists out there that I know that I often refer to for, prenatal specialties or Reiki or MFR, myofascial release. Also, I just worked with a stretchologist yesterday. That's
someone that like
they stretch you. They specialize in stretching you.
Oh, bro. Oh, man.
It felt amazing.
I gotta say, that does sound amazing. Like I said, I don't typically have muscles, but I dated this chick a long time back, and that she taught me how to like stretch another person just because she had like tight legs or something. So I'd like lean, put all my weight on her, and I didn't realize how awesome that felt. Until she did it to me, I was like, wow.
It's amazing.
There should be a career for that.
There is.
Shit.
I mean, so stretchologists, the guy that assisted stretching is another term for it.
I like stretchologists personally.
Yeah, same. So I met with him yesterday. I received my first stretch, and it was like a demo stretch, just kind of showing me what he does. And I'm like, I'm going to be referring you to all of my clients. I have clients that want me. I do mobility during my massages. So, like, that means I do stretch people as I'm massaging them. But the point is to stretch apart the knots rather than grind into them. So it's less intense.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a couple ways you can kind of do with knots, right?
Yeah. So cupping will pull up on knots, and that's why those are beneficial. So
that's what those are for.
Yeah, so let's just say you sit down a lot, right? You're sitting down in that chair. There's a lot of compression in your low back. If I go and like push in that area and you're immediately like jumping, like it's too sensitive, that means it's time to cup, because that we're going to pull that compression away. We're going to pull all that tightness away from all of those nerves and make it so that way it's easier to relax, to calm down, to take the pressure, and to relieve it.
Yeah, oh man, that sounds great. I have a friend who goes to a lot, Joe.
Yeah.
And I see their little marks on the cups from the cups or whatever. We talked a little bit about that, about like what that is, and I was like, oh yeah, Nikki, and then you were holy. I didn't realize that he sees you like every other week.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He actually gets the four-handed experience as well.
Joe would. Yeah. Joe fucking would. You present that to Joe, I'm not at all surprised that he was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. I'll do it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I really, like I said, it's, I didn't realize just how kind of, it's like developed and undeveloped at the same time. Kind of. That's what it seems like. It's kind of like a gray area.
It is a gray area. And it seems like, at least here in Minnesota, a thing that's keeping it a gray area is there's other practices out there, like Reiki, for example, that also isn't regulated. And the moment that massage gets pulled through without any of those other practices, the moment that massage gets accepted, without those practices will get left in the dust. So those practices are trying to work and get accepted along with massage thing.
I see.
Yeah.
But there's, I suppose, different levels of like medical esque. I don't know how to say that.
I mean, so a perfect example is looking back at chiropractor. Back in the day, chiropractors were seen as whack jobs. People thought that they were unnecessary. and now they're bone doctors. You know, it used to be that like health insurance wouldn't cover it, and now like they're super respected in the industry. Same with acupuncture, and now acupuncture is respected and seen as a practice.
I have an uncle who's the word you just said.
Chiropractor?
Chiropractor.
Okay.
I'm sorry, quick. On it real quick. But my cousin grew up to also, he just recently went to school and got his chiropractic license, I think.
Okay, that's cool. So, is he local?
Well, he's in Wisconsin, Oseo.
Okay.
So
I always like to network. Like, if there's someone that can take care of people, I'm always like, ooh, if there's someone that's local, I want to be able to send people to them. I want to experience them first to make sure I'm going to send people to the right people. When I'm networking and I'm trying to find people, the right people to work with, to network with, I need to know that they're passionate about taking care of the people. Yeah. Like, the money is going to flow no matter what. It should never be about the money. It should be about taking care of the people. And honestly, you know, something to share from when I was first starting off being a massage therapist, I had to deal with the struggle of, at first, I was trying to massage to pay the bills.
Right,
you know, I quit the spa job and was like, all right, I'm doing this.
I just need to pay rent. I'll take care of you, but I need to pay rent.
But reaching out on social media to get people in to come get a massage because I'm trying to pay the bills wasn't the same as I'm reaching out because I want to help people.
Right.
And once I had that shift of thought process, I started seeing more people come.
Oh yeah, see, honestly, I struggle that with myself because we are a creative business, but we are a business, and it's so weird to me to mix capitalism with like pure creativity. You know, like I'm trying to make enough money so my lovely bee over here can quit their fucking job and only edit for me full time. You know. So it's always on my mind, but just like you, I can't think about that. I can't think about the money. Like, I'm just trying to create cool stuff.
I think that's all we can do. I think that's all we can do is continue to do what we love and try to, you know, if you have to make money off of it, if you can make money off of it, but try to hold on to your soul. Try to hold on to your core values about why you're doing this.
That's actually one of the reasons why I wanted you on this podcast, because I knew, man, that person is passionate as fuck about being a massage therapist and helping people with their muscle issues and getting everything sorted. I did like how you focus on the lifestyle as well. Like, just like you said, it's kind of honestly doing you and your client a disservice by not touching on that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because you're less effective, right?
Absolutely. When I'm working with people, you know, part of the reason why I want to give them all these different self-care tips is the next time I see you, I want you to have done your homework. I want you to have come in and things aren't hurting as much. I want I've seen people weekly for 2 hours before, and I want to drop that to 90 minutes once a month body maintenance. I want that for all of my clients.
Yes.
I want them to be able to just be in maintenance mode, and once that happens, even be able to suggest them to someone who can take care of them on maintenance mode, and take the next person who needs help getting back on track, realizing that, you know, say you have something really intense going on, it's not the end of the world. There is a way to recover. It may take time. It may not feel good.
It will always take time. Let's be real.
Well, it took a lot of time for those issues to occur in order for them to exactly. So it's going to take time to break it up. But the more that, you know, we're working together to figure out how to break it up, what's going on in your body, how it functions, and how you even need to get massaged. Not everyone gets massaged the same.
Yeah, you're talking about your different tools and your different methods. Now, I primarily know massages as like you said, you had those knots. You had a fancy name for them.
Adhesions.
Yes. Now, my understanding is that is the main goal, is to address adhesions and to get rid of them. But I suppose there's a lot more going on, right? Like,
Absolutely.
What even... does that shit? Like, how do adhesions?
How do they form?
Yeah, like what the
So,
hell?
adhesions form in your body because your muscles are fibrous. They're made of a bunch of fibers, and as you're continuing to work, say I massage with my elbow, which I do, more knots, more adhesions are going to form in here and right around in this area. And so I have to get this stuff broken up, which, to explain the process, once all of those muscle fibers end up sticking to each other, they're not getting stretched out enough, they're not getting hydrated enough, they're
Sure.
overworking,
There's is there any lactic acid buildup or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. And so once you have all those fibers building up, it can limit range of motion. It can, if you have adhesions in the wrong places, they can pinch nerves,
Sure.
which can create burning sensations, pinching sensations, tingling, numbness, that type of stuff.
Fun, all fun things.
Yeah, totally fun. And so I like to, for visual's sake, think of muscles like you would dough.
Okay.
If you're kneading dough, you want to try to make sure, let's just say you made a batch of dough, it's been sitting in the pot for a while, you take it out, there's some hard parts of the dough, right?
Sure.
Those are the adhesions.
Oh, okay.
And so
okay.
now you're not just going to take that part of the hard dough out, you're not going to throw it away,
Right.
So what you're going to do is you're going to knead it in with the rest of the dough. You're going to break it up. You're going to help it get hydrated. You're going to stretch it out.
What an analogy. That's awesome.
I mean, it really is, to me, massaging is a lot like dealing with dough.
Yeah.
We got to help, except there's a lot of balancing to it, too. Because it's like right when you find the spot, it's almost like you have to balance on the top, like the seal on the ball. And you have to apply pressure, and you have to wait and watch how the body responds. Any type of twitch in the body, any type of differentiation in breathing in the person. You pay attention to all of those things. And, once you start also including mobility, you're holding a spot and you're moving things around. We don't stay like this. We don't stay arms down by our sides our entire life. So if you're getting a massage and your arms are just down by your sides the entire time, how are you going to get this stuff in here when it pops out more when it's bent that way? You know what I mean?
The stuff underneath,
exactly.
Like the blades and stuff.
Exactly.
And yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. So that's why I find mobility to be extremely important. Yeah, do you have any other questions?
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to go about that mobility. Now, when you're saying mobility, you just mean like moving the body and then massaging when they're moved, basically, kind of putting their, getting access, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, I do have some health help questions for my audience here. Let's try to help them out. Before they come and see you, maybe they got like some pain. Can you at least moderately treat it yourself by stretching? Because I've heard that actually rubbing it is kind of counterproductive. Like, it necessarily doesn't help.
So let's just say you have a knot in the back of your neck, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to do self-massage. It can be beneficial, but if you're not completely relaxed, which if you're working on yourself, you're not, you're not going to be able to get that knot out entirely. It's not counterproductive until, okay, now it's been bugging you for 10 minutes and you're still grinding at it. Now it's likely going to get inflamed.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that's how they make it worse.
Yeah, exactly. So stretching can help break things up. I'd say if the knots are small enough, typically you can stretch things out yourself. If they get big enough or in the wrong places, like you get a knot in your shoulder blade underneath your subscapula, you get something back there, you can't reach back there. Even if you like put your arm like this and get a tennis ball back there, you might be able to get it, but it won't be very relaxed or comfortable.
And you won't be working that whole time, right? So you wouldn't really be doing much to relieving any muscle strain.
Exactly.
While you're losing all your muscles to relieve it. That makes sense. That's just because, honestly, for Sam, I mean, that guy, he needs to get some maintenance, but it's been a minute.
Maybe he should see a stretchologist.
Yeah, I think he's gonna now. I didn't even realize that was a thing.
Right. It's so cool. It's so cool what's out there. And the fact that this stuff isn't out there more for everyone to see and have access to and even covered by health insurance, I think is a shame.
I think that's true. I think it should be absolutely covered by health insurance. I mean, it is body maintenance.
Absolutely.
Like we're talking later in life, if you don't address these issues, I mean, we're talking serious disability.
Absolutely. So I would like to say, at least I wasn't taught how to take care of my body growing up. You go through school,
really.
You're told to run around the lap, you're told to, do the physical fitness test.
Drink
It's all
some water.
strengthening. But the stretching that I remember doing as a kid was never targeted stretching. It was always, let's do the same routines over and over, and why are we caring about this?
Right, yeah.
Like
warm up, they would just do warm up.
yeah, and
actual...
warm ups are nice, but they're not even beneficial if you don't have the proper posture when you're doing the warm ups.
Right.
And most, I remember being on the baseball team, and people were doing this to try to stretch out their arm.
Yeah, and the waving.
But oftentimes you just see people, they're slouched, they're just moving around, they're just moving their bodies, and that is beneficial to move your body, but it's important to know how to stretch your body properly. And it's okay that we don't know. We have not been given the tools to know how to take care of our body, and that's why there are professionals out there who teach people how to stretch, like yoga teachers, who will stretch you for you if you're in such a place that maybe you can't do it quite yet. Get someone in there to do it for you, and then you work on maintaining that.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. It's it's always going to be ongoing.
Yes.
Because you live in your body. You use your muscles daily, typically.
It'll never stop. And once you get over your early 20s, where your body just heals from everything.
Yeah, I miss those days.
I feel you. Once you get over that, you have to learn how to take care of your body. You have to learn what is your routine that you have to start practicing. What works for you that might not work for even your partner. So you have to learn how to sleep better, how to hold yourself better. When you're talking about watching posture isn't easy. It's a mini workout for your body. I'm slouching right now, doing this, holding my shoulders down and back. Yeah. But it's hard, especially for neurodivergent people. It's difficult to remember. Now, when you're doing this, when you're holding your shoulders down and back, it's a workout because your new natural resting position has become this slouch.
Yeah.
So now, as you're doing this, your pecs are stretching out more. Right in here, in the front of your neck, your scalenes, your SCM. This is getting stretched out more. And my clients will tell me I'm in their head. When they're slouching or sleeping wrong, I'm in their head. They can hear me being oh, gotta sit up straight.
Nikki's disappointed in me. I can feel it.
And the thing is every session I always tell people, even if I've talked about it a million times before, I always let them know the same suggestions, and as they're improving, I let them know, you're doing a great job. I can tell you're stretching. I can tell you're drinking water.
Yeah.
I think encouraging people to let them know that when they are doing a good job, or, when you're seeing the same reoccurrences and it's oh, well, maybe it was, wasn't just this. Maybe it wasn't just sleeping on your side. Maybe if you have a crossbody backpack, that's also pulling into your shoulder.
Yeah, just maybe your books.
Yeah.
And the backpack you happen to have causes that strain.
Absolutely.
Or even maybe you go for a walk, right, every day for a particular reason, right? And even that route has terrain. That can even cause issue.
Absolutely.
Right?
Especially, are you wearing the right shoes when you're going for a walk?
Right, yeah, are you making sure to drink water and stretch, right? That's also important.
Yep, absolutely.
You humans and your water. You guys apparently need it a lot.
Well, so Here's something for you. We're talking a lot about the physical side of massage, which is all super important. But the body holds on to trauma as well.
Oh yeah, we gotta get into that. Let's get into the mental aspect of it. Great segue.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's really important. I think that's ignored. I mean, I just ignored it on accident. I mean, that's got to be the biggest contributor, right? Because your body stores that stress, right? Like
Absolutely.
literally in the muscles, right?
Let's just say you end up breaking your leg from getting pushed off a roof or something like that.
Sure, you're right.
Whatever. So you're not your body isn't just healing physically in that area. Maybe that was your friend that pushed you off or accidentally bumped you or whatever. Now you're having some mixed feelings with that. Or, there's people who have been sexually assaulted that are working around the psoas, which is right in the front of the hips, right by the groin area. There's a lot of trauma that can be stored in there. And the moment that you start releasing that, people can end up crying, they can end up having flashbacks, and it's important to let people know, hey, this, you might experience this. Now, while I'm working on someone, when I first start massaging them, I try to decipher, is this physical or is this tension from stress?
Yeah.
That's not something that's taught in massage school, at least my massage school. It was something that I learned when I started learning Reiki. I'm not Reiki certified, but I know enough to be able to tell the difference between you've been doing something physically to create this issue versus you're tensing up like crazy. The muscles around your spine are pushing so tight against your spine that it's pushing into your central nervous system, and that's why you're hurting all over.
Right.
And really, once people start letting go of some of it, or even, my space is a safe space. If people come in and start talking about what their problems are, that's not leaving the room. And I think it's good for people to talk about that stuff, even during their massage, because, you talk about something stressful, there's that deep sigh, that relief, and it comes physically too. So as I'm working on you and you're talking about something traumatic that might be going on, and sometimes people just talk about something that was traumatic, like their arm breaking or something like that, and as they're talking about it, the stress from it's releasing, so then it becomes easier to work on the issues at hand.
Right, I think that's actually a part of the brain. I think they've researched that, where
Absolutely.
It's helping you actually address it when you talk about it, and your brain can work through it with you, right?
Yeah.
So then it's kind of in tandem.
I often find if people are dealing with high amounts of stress on a regular basis, you can come in and get a 2-hour massage every week, and you're still going to be just as tight.
Yeah.
So it's important to work on how to not let the things that are stressing you out get to you as much, or how to manage yourself through those times of stress. Like aromatherapy.
Yeah.
Which I'm a huge advocate of. Aromatherapy can be helpful, but in the smallest of ways. Say you're having a panic attack, right?
Yeah.
And you have an oil pendant. Maybe have simple one that everyone likes, lavender. It helps calm them down.
I'm a fan of lavender.
So you put that in there, and then while you're having a panic attack, if lavender is what helps you calm down, if that brings you to your happy place, smell that lavender.
Yeah.
And that'll help you center yourself a little bit more. It's nothing astronomical, but every little bit that we can get with our health helps.
Oh, yeah. I think we need to recognize just how powerful the mind is. Mm-hmm. And because you're just talking about if you have chronic stress, even getting a 2-hour massage weekly, you're not really addressing the issue at hand. You're just kind of treating a symptom.
Exactly.
Right?
You might be loosening up the muscles because that got tight from the stress, but that doesn't mean that your stress is going to be gone.
Right.
You go back home and you start facing those same stresses, it's going to come right back, and it's going to feel like a waste of time and energy and money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where going in, obviously therapy, but alternative methods also work.
Someone's shooting off fireworks, I guess. Is that what that was?
It sounds like it.
I saw. Well, I literally saw the flash on your face. So it's like, okay. Well, anyway, but what? Okay. Well, I just want to wrap it up about that. You know, I wanted to kind of bring it back and talk about like, how do I get a hold of you? Like, maybe I think you're awesome, like I do, and I want to get a massage. Now you're in Minnesota, right?
Yes.
So they're gonna have to come to Minnesota, but. Seeing if they do come into Minnesota, how are we get a hold of you?
So I do have a website, mindfulmassagematters.com. Otherwise, look me up on Facebook, Mindful Massage Matters. With that all being said, currently my books are closed.
Oh, you are just too busy.
Yeah, I've been avoiding it for as long as I could, and it just hit the point of I can't avoid it anymore. I had to close my books, but that's part of the reason why I'm working with more massage therapists and others that are outside of massage therapy, acupuncturists, stretchologists. The more I start working with these other people, maybe we can have an acupuncturist come in or the stretchologist come in while I'm massaging you.
Oh yeah,
like
cool.
Start talking about like what creative ways can we create new forms of care to be able to provide better services, better care, and how can we do so at a way that won't break our clients' banks?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I like to be accessible. Now, with that being said, anyone that wants to reach out to me to try to find a connection, a massage therapist or whatever, please reach out to me, and I can always refer you to my own massage therapist or the others that I work with as well.
Yeah, it's a good community out there. Well, that's so awesome. I want to thank you again, Nikki. Thank you so much for coming by, teaching us all about health and massage and what it's all about. Honestly, we're lucky to have you. We really are. Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, GhostEater. And, you know, if you ever want to chat again about all of this, I'd be happy to come in again and chat more.
Oh, yeah. We got a weekly quota to fill, so we'll hit you back up.
Awesome.
All right. Cool.
Thank you for listening to GhostEater and Friends.